Hello and welcome to Kristi's Cropping and Creating. Thank you so much for joining me this week. And if you did not watch last week's episode, unfortunately, I don't remember what I titled that episode, but it would be from last week. You're going to sorry. You're going to want to go watch that episode because I'm doing a project recipe. So last week we cut all the pieces for the project recipe and we put together the first spread. And this week, let me just go ahead and unveil last week's pages. This week, we are going to do the second of the 2-page spread, the second layout. So this was the layout. I'm using an old project recipe, and at the end of this episode, I'll tell you which project recipe I used. And I used the contents from the Bright Delights secret box. It's also known as secret box number 2 for 2024. We opened that secret box in May of 2024 during the virtual crop. And I just thought, let's see what it'll be like to use some different papers. Now on this layout, I don't have all the photo mats. Like there is a photo that should go, let's see, what are the sizes? There's a 4x3 photo that should be here, a 3.5x3. This holds a 6x4, 3.5x3, then just a background paper, 3.5x3. This would hold a 4x4. You can put a 4x4 square or circle here, 6x4, and 4x2.5. This can be a photo, a journaling box, whatever you want it to be. But so just know that on this layout right now, it's just showing the design of the paper, and I did not put the photo mats. Hopefully, when we do our design tonight, I have the photo mats ready to go and ready to put down. I think I already said, but just in case I didn't, my name is Kristibolin. I live in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I am an independent Creative Memories advisor. Again, thank you for watching Kristi's Cropping and Creating. Please like, subscribe, share, all those good things so that I can continue to grow my base and reach more people for scrapbooking, because that's what all the fun is about, right? Tonight I'm going to use this as one of my base pages, this green. I think it's called Terra Green. Last week I said it's called Terry, Terre, because I thought that's what it said, and I thought it stood for terrestrial because it looks like it's out of this world if you ask me. But apparently it's Terra. And then I'm going to use this multicolor stripe paper as my other base. I believe the original design did call for a cardstock base on the left and a printed paper on the right. So in essence, I'm not going that far off base. Okay, so I'm just going to take the pieces that we cut last week and we're going to start figuring out where everything goes. And feel free to go back and watch that video. I'm trying to see where all of my labels are. So I think this one goes here. It's kind of hard to talk and look at the same time to see where things might go, but hopefully I can get this done in a timely fashion because I don't want to keep you too long. Last week the episode was closer to an hour. I don't think it was exactly an hour, but of course you can always fast forward through if you want to or something like that. I'm thinking that this needs to go somewhere. Is this H? It sure is. Okay, so this is going to go in between these two. and I will need to erase some of my pencil marks. You guys probably can't see them on the video or on the screen, but I certainly can see them. And that just reminded me I needed to do this just in case. Okay. A lot of these squares are going to go over here on the right-hand page, and some of these in the recipe are corner rounded, and some of them have like one corner is corner round, or let's see, I'm saying that backwards. Two corners are corner rounded, opposite corners. So I did bring my corner rounder out because I did not take care of that last week. So that is something that we can do if you want to. Of course, things like that are always optional. But they are fun when you can do it, to just add a little bit of a decorative element to what you're creating. A little more detail. So it's a little bit hard to keep looking back and forth at this sketch to see where these pieces go. And this one, where's my mark? This one is G. So it should be this side. And if I want to flip it to that side, I can. So I'm gonna look at my design and see if there's anything I want to change before I actually start adhering things. That's the beauty of doing a sketch, is that you can always personalize it to make it your own, make changes, for however you might need to make your changes. And I'm gonna get my page centered up on my 13-inch mat. I love it that our mat has the perfect markings for your papers to go right inside there, and then you've got all the little tick marks of a ruler along all four sides for you to see and help you measure and place things properly. So I'm gonna center this one on my left-hand mat. I am kind of digging the flower as my photo mat here because I don't know, I mean, there is grid over here and there is flowers, so I think it would work out either way. Of course, when you put your photo on it, it will cover up a portion of the design, but to me, that's just a tiny bit boring. Whereas if I flip it and do the floral, maybe that's too much though with the ice cream on that. So I guess I will go back to the boring grid. I probably shouldn't call it boring, should I? I'm just being honest though. All right, and then let me come back to this one and see if there's anything I want to change. I know that the purpose of this is that you're supposed to have a couple of matches and then you've got three. I think what I'm not liking is that I've got this light background next to this one. So it's like all of these are light in color, but I'm not sure I can do this. Maybe I can. That's not so bad if I do that, but is there a way to change these three? Let me think for just a second. I don't think there is, because you don't want to put anything next to each other that would be the same. So, unless I flip these two, I'm not really a fan of that one either. Ooh, one more choice. Let me try one more thing. If I put this here, again, I'm going off script from the sketch when I make the change like this, but it might end up working out okay. Let's see. This is supposed to be, I lost a piece. This is supposed to be K, and I don't even see, oh, here's K. Okay, so KFT, yeah. So this is the same row. This is the same row. I just put it in a different order. And then this one is exactly as it is done. I kind of like this, that it's almost like it's a tic-tac-toe board. And I've still got two lighter colors together here and then the right here. But I like how this looks better. And it feels like a little bit of a tic-tac-toe board. So on the sketch, they've got opposite corners of this piece put down, or not put down, but opposite corners of that base corner rounded. And then they have opposite corners of this one. So it's the top right and the bottom left of both of those that they have corner rounded. Trying to see, this one in the middle is also corner rounded at top left and bottom right, or top right and bottom left. Hopefully I didn't say that wrong. Sometimes I have a hard time with my left and my right. Everything else is the same. And isn't that funny that I moved these pieces to where it's the same paper, and which is not what the recipe called for, but then these are the three that it did call for corner rounding. I don't see anything on the left-hand page that is for corner rounding. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And as I put my adhesive on these pieces, I should probably tell you what they are. So I'm going to start with my my big piece right here. It is labeled H, and I'm going to put piece H down, and I'm going to put it is probably a 4-inch wide piece. It is. So I'm going to put it from the 4 inches down and 4 inches up on my page. So I'm going to center it. And again, this is why the numbers on the 13-inch mat come in handy, because you've got the 4 and the 8 here and the 4 and the 8 here. And then this little piece, it's probably a 1/2 inch trim strip. It is labeled R, R as in Robert. So I will put it on top of my ice cream cones. I'll start on the inside edge, work my way over to the left-hand edge. This trim strip is, I think it's 1 inch by 12, and it is labeled Q, as in quality. Again, I'll start on the inside edge and work my way to the outside. That way, like if my cardstock is slightly wider than my 12-inch decorative paper, designer paper, or the other way around, it's easier to fix. If you start from the inside and work your way out, then you can just fix it over here on the end. All right, so this is piece U. It serves as a photo mat. It should be 3.5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3.5 by 5. Again, it is to serve as a photo mat, and I do have my actual photo holders, or to show you the sizes of the photos. I'll show you that in a minute. This comes in, it is about 2.5 inches down from the top and about 1/2 inch in from the edge. So you can adjust that if you want to. This is piece G, as in Gary or Grumpy. It is going to go about 1/2 inch from the top and about 1/2 inch from the left-hand edge. So over on the right-hand side, it's about at the 4.5 inch mark. It's gonna hold a photo, and then I've got some photos that will go here. And then these pieces, I've already jumbled up which one's which. I'll still tell you which ones I'm putting down, but it may not be the exact way the grid called for me to do. So again, I'm going to start about 1/2 inch from the top and about 1/2 inch in. Now this striped paper should make it fairly easy for me to line things up. And I'm going to start at the top and the bottom, and then I'll center the one in the middle. That's just a little bit of a design trick that seems to help out if you do that. Oh man, I might not should have come a whole 1/2 inch up from the or down from the top, because now I want to leave 1/2 inch down here, and it might make them closer together than I thought. We'll see. Oh, this is piece K. The bottom is K. So the top is C, the bottom is K. This one that's going to go in between them is E. E as in Eric. And I don't have 1/2 inch space to leave between the two, but I think as long as you line things up accordingly, you'll be okay. So that's probably about 1/8 inch that's going to be between them. I'm going to start with no, I'm not going to do piece F. I'm going to go over to T on the bottom right corner. And if I come in a 1/2 inch and come up a 1/2 inch because it's even over here, again, that's going to give me these stripes to help me line things up. But I can also get a ruler, my zero centering ruler, or one of my other Creative Memories rulers to help me line things up along this. But I'm just going to try to I've started to say I'm going to try to eyeball it, and now I'm thinking I need to check. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. I'll come up to, this is piece T. I'm going to go to the top right corner for piece L. Again, that may not be the way the actual recipe called for it to be. Then I will go to, I've got those two, so I'll go to D, which is in the middle on the right-hand side. I'm going to come to the middle of the bottom, which is piece F. F as in Frank. It looks like to center them in between, again, it's going to be about 1/8 inch in between each of these photo squares. I'll go to the top middle, which is piece S as in Sam. And then I think this should be the last one that I have, and it is piece J as in Jack. And if I need to adjust anything because I've got something not straight or whatever, I'll worry about that in a little bit. I want to show you how these photos go. So these squares over here are to hold 3x3 photos. I'm pretty sure it is, well, actually, I don't remember if it's a 3.5 inch square. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a 3.5 inch square. And yes, oops. You've got several places to hold photos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, they've got 5 photos on the sketch. And then these other squares can serve as things like a base for an embellishment cluster. You could always do a journaling box inside these blank squares. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blank squares to do various things, quotes, embellishment clusters, and journaling. And then over here on the left-hand page, you've got space for a 4x6 photo on this. You have, I should say 6x4, but I always do it 4x6 because that's the way you order pictures. This will hold a 3" by 4.5" photo. And then it allows you to layer at least 2 3.5 by 4.5" photos here. You could probably even go slightly larger, maybe a 3.5 by 5.5. If you want to, just crisscross them right there. And this is what the sketch calls for. These are the exact. This is the exact layout that the sketch calls for in terms of the placement of the photos and things like that. So I'm going to show you the sketch, and I'm going to try to get closer. So this is the way they finished it with photos and things, and see how they've got a journaling a embellishment cluster here. That should be a journaling box. This is some sort of quote and just showing off the decorative paper. That is, it's a little bit hard to see what that is, but I think that was space for there to be a journaling box, and then the 2 photos. And then the layout that I did last week, this was what it looked like finished. And some of you may now know what sketch this was. It was not from this year National Scrapbook Day. This was actually from 2020, when we had the wonderful strawberry themed National Scrapbook Day. I do still have some of these project recipe kits. If any of you want one of those, I'm pretty sure project recipe kits are, oh my goodness, are they $13.50? I think they're $13.50, might be $12.50, but whatever the cost is, of course, I would need to ship it to you directly. So reach out to me if that is something that you want. But again, when you get a project recipe kit, it comes with all the ingredients. It even comes with stickers and embellishments and the directions of how to cut your papers. And it comes with all the papers, like the base pages, the cardstock, and everything. And so this was layout 1, and then this was layout 2, and we have now completed it. So if you do need an advisor, if you're not connected to a Creative Memories advisor, I would be honored to help you out. My website is www.creativememories.com/user/kristibolin. Kristi's Kristi, Bolin is BOLIN. My email address is kristibolin@gmail.com. And if you want to join my group of croppers from across the US, that we meet weekly, and I teach a design layout. Sometimes it's a single page spread. Most of the time it's a double page spread. Occasionally it's a border or a card. Very, very rarely do I teach a card in that group. But I call that group Kristi's Croppers. And the classes are taped on Wednesday evenings at 7:30. We meet live, but if you can't meet live with us, then you can watch the recording at your convenience. You won't find information about that on my Facebook page because it's a private group. So you can reach out to me to ask me about that just by emailing me at my email address. I'm pointing to the paper that I have my information written on. Again, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And be sure to go watch last week's so that you can see the cutting guide for how to do this, how to cut the papers for this layout and for this layout. And I can get you the instructions for this project recipe if you don't already have them. I think that's it. Happy cropping, y'all, and I will see you next week.